So yesterday afternoon, well, all this hullabaloo is going on about Syria. More stories from our government, who each day seems to prove these men are not trustworthy. They have no business remaining in their positions of authority. They came out and said Syria had used chemical weapons. And they went and gathered hair samples and other samples from folks, supposedly. And the machine that they used to test it said it is sarin gas, or sarin. But it turns out it was sodium fluoride and potassium fluoride. That's what the UK, who, if you notice, recently backed out of this little adventure, gave permits for the weaponized toxic sodium fluoride to be shipped to Syria. I don't think that's any coincidence that the UK wants nothing to do with this. But the fact of the matter is, we've got much more pressing issues. Ouch. Did you know that the equivalent of 8,700 Hiroshima bombs have collected in our atmosphere from Fukushima? 8,700. And that number was calculated a couple of days ago. It's about 10 an hour. And while they do individual tests, one here and one there, that's not a huge amount of radiation. But 8,000 tests? The children are already starting to suffer the results in Japan. The adults as well. Now, getting back to the Syria debacle, if sodium fluoride is considered a toxic biohazard and then weaponized and requires permits to ship, why are we standing for it in our water and being told it's good for us? Either every dentist out there is a liar, or they've been misinformed through deceptive teaching, like many of our, professions. I don't know if that's the right word. All I know is, as someone who suffers from fluorosis, I know I've been overdosed. And yet when you go to the doctor, they'll lay some other line on you, like something you did, it's your fault. You ate this, or you took that, or somehow it's all on your shoulders. It has nothing to do with the high levels of fluoride. And they're putting it in specifically designed products for babies now. And for years, we were told, you do not and should not give your child fluoride before a certain time. Another lie. You should never give your child fluoride, ever. There's enough natural fluoride. We do not need their byproducts of their chemical processes for nuclear power put into our water supply because they're too cheap. They care so little about you and me, they're willing to poison us under the guise of not having to pay for toxic waste disposal. Now, I don't know if the studies I saw 5 years ago are still available because they sanitize the web anytime they think there's information that's going to hurt them. But I can tell you, those people you see walking around with no teeth, most of them, a lot of them are not meth addicts like you're being led to believe. It's the combination of the chemicals in your food and your diet when mixing with fluoride are causing these deformities or maladies. I don't know what you want to call them. I'm no scientist, but I know how to read, and I know how to comprehend what I read. And if I can't comprehend it, I study it, and I find out what it is I'm missing. And I can tell you, I'm not missing a thing, and neither is anybody else who's trying to warn you about fluoride. But the fact of the matter is, they want to bomb a country. They want to kill more people over the use of this product, this chemical, and yet they fight tooth and nail to keep being able to put it in water supplies. What's wrong with this picture? Come on, man. We really need to wake up. These people are the bane of the existence of humanity. I don't know what happened to them. They were probably normal people at one point. But something happens when you get elected. And it's not just that you find out more. Because apparently every elected official turns into a traitor as soon as they get this information, because they withhold it from us. And then when you try to get information about it, or point out that there's some sort of inconsistency with their math, you're a conspiracy nut. You're a truther. You're just an uneducated idiot. You don't know what they know. And that's right. We don't know what they know, because they've done such a great job of turning everything into a national security secret. Secret societies have long been repugnant to a free and open society, because that is where the evil happens. When rich men with no compassion for anyone but themselves and their pocketbooks get behind closed doors and start making decisions as if they have the authority when they don't. These are not elected officials of our country. These are just people who've stolen everything from everyone around the world. And then they keep you and me at each other's throats, simply with petty arguments that I'm seeing I'm having a difficult time just getting people to see reality anymore. You know what? I don't care about Jay-Z or Kanye's kid or the Kardashians or any of that other stuff. What I care about is you and your family. I don't want to see you hurt. I want to see you thrive. I want to see you have life more abundant. I want to see your children healthy. I want you to be able to earn the kind of living that every person on this planet should have access to, not just those in commercialized, capitalistic, imperialist societies. Okay? And you'll notice they've pretty much decided to dump the United States of America. Our own elected officials do not even stand with us anymore. If you go against what they say, you're the problem. If we have a vote, they just override it, even if it's the will of the citizens. How is that democracy? How is that what this country was founded on? It's not. We have been so hijacked and so overly whelmed with the garbage from TV that we can't even have conversation anymore without people calling each other names and fighting over stuff that has nothing to do with the end game. They made a mistake yesterday. The U.S. government said fluoride, potassium fluoride, and sodium fluoride are weapons of mass destruction. Don't let this go. They, with their own words, convict themselves and prove they've been lying to us about just fluoride. Just the fluoride. If you just focus on that, we have been being lied to. Think about it. We need a government, just not this one that's sold out to foreign banks. Why have they gotten a blank check? Why are they too big to prosecute? Why are they too big to fail? I'll tell you why. Because our elected officials are cowards. And every one of them has been told, you either toe the line and get lots of money, or you go ahead and tell what you think is going to make a difference. They got a gun in the pocket, and they're going to shoot the man if he tells the truth. And you've seen it many, many times. So, this is the government we have. Are we going to accept this kind of criminal, illegal behavior? Or are we going to do something about it and show the world that we still are America? You know, the America that saved the world after World War I and World War II and has been pumping money into the system to keep the world afloat, while these people who they work for, who aren't elected officials, who are not even citizens of the country, do everything they can to steal every penny we produce. Just a brief thought for you guys. How come 80% of the population has only been allowed 8% of the wealth to share, while 20% of the population holds 20% or 80%, 82% or 92% of the wealth. How is that fair? And why would anyone need more than, what's this? Is it he who dies with the most toys wins? Well, guess what? In that event, as he who has the most toys collects, those of us he's collecting from die. We die spiritually, intellectually, and physically. While these people who have more than they could spend in 100 lifetimes on themselves and their spoiled families of inbred freaks who keep this stuff going, they use $100 bills to wipe themselves. And if you think I'm lying, I've seen it. I don't usually talk about things like this because the people around can't handle it. But I think you can handle this. And I think you need to share this, and you need to let people know. Fluoride in our water is a weapon of mass destruction that's been being used against us since the Manhattan Project. That's how long they've been working on dumbing us down and killing us, because they think we're worthless. And all that shows is self-centered conceit by these supposedly trustable officials who run for office, who are so worried about your health, and so concerned about, what's going on. But the evidence proves different. Stop believing what they're telling you. It's not true. They are liars, murderers, and thieves. And worse, cowards who refuse to stand up for you and me, to the bankers, and to big corporations. We should have known there was a problem as soon as the Bush administration gave corporations individual rights. A non-physical entity that has no other than the grouping of the people who work there in the buildings, they're suddenly an individual and get individual rights. We have humans who don't have individual rights yet. And they've given it to corporations so that they can do this to you and me. Stop the fluoride in the water. Get the fluoride out of the water. If you want your children to grow up healthy without a bunch of, I don't know what you call it, secret diseases that everybody claims they don't know. All the doctors claim, oh, it's something you did. It's something you were exposed to. Yeah, you were exposed to a weapon of mass destruction in your drinking water. Water, the most important thing for life. And they're polluting it. And now they've made the mistake. They've convicted themselves with their own words. If they refuse to take the fluoride out of our water, we know we're seriously under attack. And if you don't, take some time off of your already stressed out job and go to your local capital and to the capital of the United States en masse and tell them, you either do this or you are going to be removed. And if the judicial system will not back the citizens, the judicial system needs to be removed. No more of this crap. We're tired of your lies, and we're tired of being treated like we're your slaves. We're not your slaves, and we're not your toys to play with. My life, my family's lives, these are not negotiable items. And I'm sure everybody's heard this. There's two things you don't mess with. You don't mess with a man's money, and you don't mess with a man's family. And that's exactly what they're doing. And they're kicking you in the groin, and me, every time they spout more lies on their mainstream media puppet networks, which, by the way, they need to be shut down. And those people who sit behind those desks parroting the crap to confuse you and to put you at odds with each other instead of focusing on the real truth, they are as criminally liable as the people who thought of it and the people who enacted it. Please wake up. Your kids can't take much more of this. Just remember, no panic, no rioting in the streets, nothing that would give them grounds to call martial law. It has to be done in a peaceful yet large demonstration of our power, not theirs. Stay safe. Take care of yourselves. And when all looks worst, don't panic. Stay focused.